Time to talk about the PlayStation 5 reveal on today's episode of Gaming Talk. Hello everybody and welcome to a brand new episode of Gaming Talk. This is the show where I discuss anything related to video games or, that kind of stuff. My name is Chris. Today we're going to be talking about the PlayStation 5 reveal event, which actually just happened. I'm recording this on June 11th. So we got some info about the PlayStation 5, what the system looks like, and some of the games. So I'm not going to be able to go into every single little detail, but I'm going to give you kind of my initial impression of what I've seen of the PlayStation 5 so far. So first off, did I enjoy the presentation? Yes. I thought they did a solid job. It was well paced. There were a lot of really interesting reveals. It didn't floor me like I was hoping it was going to, but it did. It was a solid showing. So there are some big questions I think a lot of us have after watching that event. And especially if you're really big into gaming, there's a lot of questions that you're probably having in terms of what's going to be there for me to play this fall if I spend however much the system is this fall. That's a big question, and they didn't really answer that with this reveal. Well, let's talk about some of the big announcements, some of the big things that they revealed. First of all, we've seen the console. It looks interesting. It's definitely a lot more of a radical design than the Series X. The Xbox Series X looks like a PC tower, and I don't think that's entirely a bad thing. It's a very simplistic design, but it works. It gets the job done. And I think you can do some cool stuff with that vent on the top that glows green. The PlayStation 5 has weird spirally looking thing. It's kind of bizarre looking. I think it might sell me more when I see it in person, but it does look futuristic. I'm all for that. It doesn't look like an appliance that you use on a daily basis nowadays. It actually does look like the future. So that's pretty cool. I'm not super sold on the design. It's not one of those things where I look at it and wow, that's cool. It's kind of cool, but it's not amazing. In terms of the big games that they announced, of course, a couple of the biggest ones were a sequel to Horizon Zero Dawn called Horizon Forbidden West. We saw some gameplay. Apparently Aloy is going to be visiting the former United States, so there might be some familiar locales around that have been destroyed. That's kind of cool. I'm pretty sold on that. I do need to go back and play Horizon Zero Dawn because I really did enjoy what I played of it, but with many games, I stopped and never went back to it. Shame on me. We also got to see first glimpse of a game we will be playing this fall, and that is Spider-Man Miles Morales. So it is either a sequel or a spin-off. We're not 100% sure. To Sony's Spider-Man game on PS4. It looks good. We do know it's going to be probably the marquee first-party title coming out at the launch of the PlayStation 5. So I'm pretty excited for that. And of course, getting to mess around with Miles and his unique powers is pretty cool. Especially if you're a big fan of Into the Spider-Verse like I am, you should be really excited to play as Miles in this game. So looks good. That's another game I haven't played that I need to is Spider-Man PS4, and I will get to it eventually, but yeah, it looks pretty good. There are some other pretty big reveals. I don't remember the name, but the game that was made by Housemarque, that looked really interesting. Two of the games that impressed me the most were actually both Bethesda, Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo. Now we know both of those games are multi-platform, so they will be coming to the Series X. But those games look awesome. First of all, had no idea that Ghostwire Tokyo was first person. That kind of sold me on it. I am a sucker for first person games, and it looks pretty dope. I love the really kind of weird, creepy, horror-ish vibe that it's got going on it. It looks very surreal. Kind of looks like Fear-ish mixed with Dishonored. I'm pretty sold on it. Deathloop, I love its 1970s kind of gritty action style. It looks fun. Some of the powers they showed off look really good. So both of those I'm pretty sold on. Definitely would picking those up probably for the Series X. But they look really good. Another big one that a lot of people were pretty impressed by was Resident Evil 8 Village. Now, I started Resident Evil 7. Started it. Didn't get very far. But I did start it, and it was very creepy, very, very disturbing atmosphere. This one looks like a little bit more of the same, maybe a little toned down from Resident Evil 7. But there are werewolves, there's a castle, and it looks weird, and I'm kind of all about it. So maybe wanting to play that game will convince me to go back and try to play Resident Evil 7. We'll see, but it looks pretty good. A bunch of indie games were shown. Some of them look pretty impressive. A lot of them, I'm just sitting there looking at the screen, scratching my head, going, what is this? Like, I don't understand what type of game this is. It's just kind of a flashy looking trailer. I mean, you gotta have those types of games, and Sony does like having those kind of artsy looking indie titles, or even first party titles for that matter. And they looked impressive, but I don't know, most of them didn't really strike a chord with me at all. The other big one that I thought looked really good was Ratchet & Clank, the new Ratchet & Clank game from Insomniac. We don't have a release date for it, but it looks pretty awesome. I love the interdimensional travel warp kind of thing that's going on. It looks really intriguing. The graphics look great. I think that's going to be a terrific game when it comes out. I mean, you should expect nothing less from Insomniac. They're a top-tier studio, so pretty excited to play it. Overall, I thought the event was solid. There are a lot of questions we still don't know. We don't know the launch lineup beyond Spider-Man, Godfall, and then like your usual launch lineup games. So Madden will be there, 2K, NBA will be there. There's a number of, and I'm sure there'll be a bunch of indie games as well. We don't really know what the launch lineup is. We still don't know the price, but we do know that there will be 2 different SKUs of the PlayStation 5. One will be a digital-only version. Oddly enough, they're copying Microsoft on that. And the other will have a disc drive. So hopefully there'll be a price differential between the two. Some people are saying that they might just bump the hard drive up in the all-digital one and make it the same price. I hope they don't do that, because I think it makes sense to like knock $100 off or something. Make a cheaper version that's digital only, because it very much sounds like the PlayStation 5 is going to cost a lot of money. I'm sure the Series X will too, but the main difference is Microsoft can afford to take a hit on each console sold if they really want to. Sony, not so much, so it would not at all shock me if Microsoft undercut Sony by a decent amount of money when they announced the price for the Series X. Either way, it looks good. They showed off more of the DualSense controller. They showed off some of the accessories, including a 3D headset that's coming to the PlayStation 5. It was a decent reveal. I think the system looks cool. They have some really solid games coming to it. Still a lot of questions. We still don't know the price for both models. We still don't know the launch date. We still don't know the entire launch lineup. I'm sure we'll get those questions in the next few months, because it's not that far from when both of these next-gen consoles are rumored to launch. So hopefully we will hear more as we get closer to the fall. So there you go. Those are my thoughts on the PlayStation 5 reveal. And that is going to do it for this episode of Gaming Talk. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. Remember, new videos on this channel go live every day at noon Eastern Time, so hit that subscribe button, click that notification bell. That way you know when new videos drop. Hope you're enjoying the new kind of look and improved visuals of this video and other videos. Obviously, I have started using my MacBook Pro to do a lot of my editing, so you'll notice some tweaks here and there, hopefully for the better. And I'll continue to work on improving my usage with that as well. So hopefully you'll see some difference in the video quality as well as some of the stuff I'm doing on the channel. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on Gaming Talk. Bye.